Happy Chocolate Chip Cookie Day! And greetings from California. I am, of course, Josiah Rizzo, but you knew that already because this is coming from my Facebook page. I wanted to post this to kind of just give you guys an update on what's happening with me. Newsflash: nothing big, externally at least. A lot of internal stuff, and that's exactly actually why I wanted to, be real with you guys for a moment. Hold on, let me center this up. Okay, centered. That would have bugged me. I really just wanted to be real with you guys because honestly, I know I have a lot of friends, and I'm going to tag you guys. I have a lot of friends who are very interested in coming out to California, and while I'm not going to presume to know what their journey is going to be like, or I'm not going to presume that what I'm going through is going to be anything even like this. I can just hopefully lay out for you kind of the spiritual reflection I've had to go through. And it all starts off with staying in people's homes that aren't your own. Uh, and I'm a people person. I love people. I love hanging out. But unfortunately, there is kind of this odd unspoken thing that happens when you stay at people's homes, and depending on what type of person you are, I'm the type of person that doesn't like to bother other people. I like to be crazy and fun, but if I learn that I've bothered someone or bugged them, then it kind of messes with me on the inside, and a lot of times that's hindered me in the past from just doing what I need to do because I'm more concerned about what people think than what I should be doing. I know it's like, ooh, groundbreaking. You're the only person to ever deal with that. Just like, no, I know that that's a normal trend, but it's heightened for me because I've always been kind of self-aware. Me, my sister, we can step back and realize we can see things from a third point of view sometimes that a lot of other kids they'll just go with the flow, and if they're annoying they're annoying, if they're self-conscious they're self-conscious but they don't realize it. But the extra layer of frustration with me would be that I would be self-conscious and I would want to impress everyone else, and then I'd be able to step back and notice that in me, and then I would criticize that, and it was like this endless catch-22 weird cycle of just constant, you need to care about people, you need to stop caring so much about caring about people, you need to stop caring so much about caring about people about caring about them. It's just like, and no matter where my mind went, it was like I could never have a quiet moment in my mind, to the point that when I was a young preteen, in the Planet Rock, woohoo! Anyone who remembers that is cool. When I was going to the Planet Rock, it was like our youth group, and there would be points where I'd be talking to someone, and I would literally have no idea where the heck to put my arms. I'd be like, do I put them up here? Do I put them in my pocket, or do I just um, I didn't know where to put my arms. And sometimes someone would be talking to me, it'd be a girl, and I would be just going absolute crazy in my head trying to figure out where to put my friggin' arms because TV never taught me that. Because my parents never taught me that. Because that is a huge thing, and I can't look like the idiot who's just standing there like this. Now you see this look right here, this hipster type of look where you can stand there and kind of like, hey man, I don't care about you. That wasn't the thing back in the day. No, back in the day, you had to be cool. You had to kind of have like, you had to have your stuff together. And I was constantly, I'm sorry, I was just constantly in my head all the time about where I needed to be, to the point that, and even now, it's a prevalent issue that I have. I can't be in the moment a lot. I'm either thinking 5 years ahead, 3 seconds ahead. If I'm talking with someone, sometimes I'm thinking, man, I really wish I was home right now on my bed watching Netflix. Or man, I wish I was there already. Or man, I wish this. Or man, to the point that when I was having a conversation with someone, I never was really having a conversation with someone. And that's happened to me nowadays. It's one of the reasons sometimes I forget people's names, or one of the reasons that I'm like, oh, what'd you say again? Because I'm not there. I'm not in the moment. I am constantly either in the past, in the future. The present is an issue I have. I have an issue with the present. So, and that is something, I've always kind of been aware of that I had, but being out here in California, I have gone on a spiritual journey because when you're with other people, it's heightened. When you're in another household that's vastly different from your own, that's neither good or bad. I'm not um, criticizing it, but when you're in a household, A, that's vastly different than your own, and B, where they're not used to your personality, you suddenly, it was like everything was heightened. All the issues I had in my head were heightened, and I became a lot more quiet of a Josiah in some households. In other households, I was kind of loud for a second and then calmed down. But I started noticing this trend in me to really strive for people's approval because I didn't want to become the bum who's just crashing on the bed thinking, I'm going to be famous in California because F logic. And, which oddly enough is exactly what I feel like I'm at right now. So I'd be in these people's homes, I'd be in my other uncle, um, and it was like I would strive to um, prove myself, basically. I couldn't have a conversation without suddenly freaking out and having to give an example of what I'm doing. I'm doing this and this and this because I had to prove, look, I am actually trying, I'm actually doing, and so much so that I was more focused on my physical appearance of me doing stuff than actually being in the moment and experiencing um, California. I don't know if that makes sense just yet, but hopefully it will. And what ended up happening is it drove me crazy. I started to become painfully aware of my inadequacies or what I consider my inadequacies. And I'm going to be completely brutally honest with you guys. Yeah, I know people assume because I'm homeschooled, I'm some super smart genius. And the unfortunate truth is, I'm capable of that. I know. But I have allowed myself to become complacent where unfortunately I lack in some areas. And one second, I'm just gonna check. Gotta keep that. All right. And what ends up happening is, I don't have a high school degree. I don't. I went through high school. I remember some of it. My mom. This is nothing on you. She absolutely slaved away for me to be able to do what I had to do, and she taught me since I was a little kid, and it worked for the most part. But then what ended up happening was I started modeling, and then I got really busy with that, and and then I kind of went my own way, which wasn't bad. This is exactly where I needed to be, but a few things were sacrificed, and because I'm not one of those type of people, unfortunately, I've learned I like to start a lot of things, but if I'm not focused on just one thing, everything will falter. And I know that's a prevalent issue with a lot of people, but there are some people who can literally put their mind to everything, 5 things at a time, and they can get it all done. And I used to try to be that and strive to be that, and unfortunately, it failed. So when I went to go focus on making my movie, what ended up happening was I gave literally no thought to remembering math, science, even English, stuff that should have just been ingrained in me. I was never really in the moment. I didn't soak it in fully. And so what ends up happening is now I am this, I don't have a degree. I don't either in high school or college. Um, Sometimes I struggle to remember certain words, the meanings behind words. Uh, and I'm not very cultured. I used to read a lot when I was a kid, and then somewhere along the line I was like, I can watch movies. I can get the movie version faster. I think the last full book I read was Jaws, which was really good, actually, much better than the movie in certain areas. The movie was really good. It's a different type of. Anyway, I digress. But that was a long time ago, and somewhere along the line I just was like, I don't need to read books because I'm going to be famous. I'm going to make movies, and I don't need to learn anything. And I never really, that was never really a conscious decision I made. It was very in the back of my head because unfortunately being a homeschooled kid who was, I don't like to say it this way, but a big fish in a small pond, even though Texas is huge, everyone would look at me and be like, oh, you're going to be famous, and don't forget me when you're famous, and put me in your films, and I'm just going to be an extra who does this in the background. Everyone, by the way, there's one of these days there's going to be a scene in my movie where everyone in the background is doing this, because that's all they ever want to do. But what ended up happening was I was suddenly this big fish in a small pond that all I focused on was making movies, which isn't bad, but I started to think, I don't need anything else than this. I don't need to read books. I don't even need to I don't need to culture myself because I'm already cultured enough. And then I would get frustrated with myself when I'm writing a script or a movie, and it's like I could feel me hitting my roof. It's like I don't know any more than this, so I'll just kind of stick to what I know. And in a lot of ways, there was a truth to my path, but it was, for me, a blind truth because I never stepped back fully enough to be in the moment to really understand why I was choosing that path. I was essentially just on autopilot, which isn't bad because I was going in the right direction, but if you're on autopilot, you're not consciously aware of the decisions you're making. Something else is making your decisions. And being out here in California, there have been a lot of instances where suddenly I've had to switch from autopilot, and it's like suddenly I'm aware I'm behind a wheel and I'm going, okay, why am I driving this direction? Why did I make this decision? Why, it's like, it's not to say I should have gone to college. For me, I don't honestly, at this point, in this point in my life, I'm okay with the fact that I haven't gone to college. But unfortunately, I never asked myself why. I never pushed myself in the direction that I needed to go. Instead, it was just like, oh, I just won't go to college. But now I've had to ask myself, what am I doing? Like, seriously, what the hell am I doing out here? Who am I? I'm going to make movies? Do I want to make movies? Do I want to be an actor? Because I'm good at it, but there are so many other people who are good at it out here, who have proof that they're good at it. And I'm what? In my mind, I'm nobody. And I've had to ask myself, what the heck am I doing? And do I want to continue with it? And unfortunately, I'm too self-aware to live a normal existence. And by the way, a normal existence doesn't mean that working at Walmart is a dead-end job and that there's nothing to your life, because I've known some very passionate people to work in all kinds of businesses, of all kinds of, and the thing is, though, that's not for me. I knew when I was a kid I was going to make movies. But it's not about the job, it's about the heart. Why are you there? Because I've known janitors. My dad was a janitor who prayed over every single toilet he would wash. I mean, I've known people work what others look at as a menial job, and they've poured their heart and soul in it, and they've changed people's lives. And that, to me, no matter what job, is exactly what I want to be. It doesn't matter. That's the type of person I want to be. And unfortunately, without even realizing it, I became so focused on fame, on fortune, on becoming famous, which I just said, fame, fortune, becoming famous is the same thing. But, fame is twice as big an issue. And I became very focused on pleasing others, not even out of pride. I'm going to show them that I'm famous. It's more like, oh my God, people want me to be famous, so I have to be famous. And I lost sight of why I wanted to make movies. And I came to the realization, I don't want to make movies for people. I want to make movies, this is going to sound so stupid, I want to make movies for people. I literally want to make it for a person, to change a person's life. Not for people so that they can look at me and go, yeah, I knew that Josiah person was going to be famous. Because I became distracted. I was driving an autopilot, not questioning why I was doing what I was doing, and I wasn't in the moment. So I've been out here, I've been staying with people, and I've almost each day had to face the horrible realization that, hey, I'm not cultured enough, I'm not smart enough, oh my God, I don't know what to do, I'm lost, I'm not a good enough actor, my stuff is crap. I wasn't planning on being out here this long. I was expecting that one of the film festivals I would have submitted kids to would have gone through, and unfortunately none of them did. And the day that I got the rejection letter from South by Southwest was actually, I have to say, I'm very thankful that they gave a rejection letter. Honestly, I am, because it it was nice knowing, oh, okay, I didn't make it, so I can move on. So all respect due to South by Southwest. Thank you for even watching my film. I appreciate it. And they did give me feedback, which was fantastic. But that day, I didn't have all that mindset. I was like, I suck. I don't know what to do. Sometimes I'd sit in my room and I'd be like, I don't know where to go. I had people say, "Hey, we'd love to work with you out here." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." But then suddenly there was this fear of I'm not adequate enough to work with them. So if I do work with them, I'm going to have to I'm going to have to strive to prove myself to them, and then I'm going to fail, and they're never going to want to see me again. So why even try? And there have been so many times where I have hindered myself out here because I am terrified of what people think of me. And I am terrified that I unfortunately am inadequate enough. And being a believer in God, and I've never believed in God being an enabler. I don't, that's not the God I believe in. I believe, the reason I believe in a God is because I see a destiny on my life. I see a reason for living. But I don't see God as being, I don't see him as being an angry God, but I also don't see him as being like like a coddler. Oh, Josiah, you don't have to do anything or learn anything because guess what? I'm going to make you famous, and that's all that matters. And Christianity's super cool because you never have to go through any issues. Yay, super duper. That's not the God I believe in, but subconsciously, that's what I was hoping for. I was hoping for a God that was just going to hand everything to me on a silver platter. And a lot of times God's been like, do something. And I've been like, no, I don't want to do anything. I don't know, because then I'd have to step out of my comfort zone. And my comfort zone is in Texas, and where people look at me and know I'm going to be famous. They know I'm going to be famous. I don't have to prove it to them. But now that I'm out here and everyone else they're doing stuff, they know what to do. And I'm sitting here going, I don't know where to go. I don't know who to call up. I'm not a good actor. I'm not in the moment. And that's I've gone to a lot of these acting workshops and I've suddenly realized I'm not in the moment. I am so up in my head about the script, about everything else. I put on a good front, but I'm not in the moment. And the reason that you see crappy actors sometimes in all these TV shows, and Micah can attest to this, that I'm a very big, I hate the fact that everything's whitewashed on television nowadays. But the reason you see those actors a lot of times is A, well, they look pretty, but B, they connect. They don't have to connect super well. They don't need to be like able to cry right then, but they need to be able to be in the moment. And a lot of times you don't need to be a good actor to be in the moment. You need to be a good person. You need to be aware of who you are as a person. And I've been so in my head about perfecting things and being good that I have missed the opportunity to be in the moment. So now I am in the moment, and I have no clue what I'm gonna do. I took a step out in faith. I got a job at Six Flags, but I don't know where I'm gonna stay because I can't. Hey dog, what you looking at? Micah's dog is adorable. Hey, no barky. I'm gonna let him outside real quick. Go out. Go. Hey, go outside. Oh, you just want to bark. Little turd nugget. Anyway, let me check. Okay, so now we're getting into the real stuff. Hey! Stop it! I had a moment where it was time to leave the last house I was at, and I had no clue where I was going to go next. And I just felt like a failure, and I was overwhelmed with this just fear that I am a failure. That my life has amounted to nothing. No one in the real world cares about my film. No one in the real world cares about me. They think I'm charismatic, but I'm nothing more than that because I'm not smart enough. I don't have anything to prove to them. And I just started to cry. I was overwhelmed with this fear of just, I was broken basically. Sorry. And God, I've talked a long time. 19 minutes right now. Doesn't matter. I felt so stupid. And I thought to myself, and this is the reason I brought up God, I thought to myself that if there is no such thing as God, I, Josiah Rizzo, am never going to succeed. And that's a hard place to be at. And I've really, in the past 3, 4 months, I've really strived to try and find out why I believe in a God. To read the word almost, in my point of view, as an atheist, not trying to disprove, but looking for credibility. Because it goes back to that thing is, I might be in the right direction, but I need to know why I'm going that direction. I need to know why I'm behind the wheel. I can't live my life on autopilot because I don't know why I'm making the decisions that I make. I do personally believe that there is a God. But why do I believe that? Why do I choose to go in that direction? Because otherwise, people are going to ask me, and I'm going to be like, because Jesus and the Bible told me so. There are so many other religions out there that have a semblance of credible proof from my understanding, and I intend to kind of start diving deep into those and just, and you might think, oh my God, no, you're going to get lost and go on the wrong path. No, you know what? I'm smart enough to know, I'm smart enough to choose something for my own benefit. So I can read a book from another religion and not be swayed just because it's smart. I'll be swayed because I choose to be swayed. So that just comes down to me and what I choose to believe in. But I started realizing I don't want to live my life in this little bubble I created for myself. And when that cracked, when I had no clue where I was going to go, I really didn't. And I felt like the biggest asshole on the planet. I felt stupid and insignificant. And I was bawling. I didn't know where to go. And then, I messaged Micah, who has allowed me to crash on his floor for the past 3 weeks. And by the way, thank you so much. I've already told it to him before. But, you know, that was a low moment. The second day I was here, I was trying so hard because I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to be the guy who just comes into someone's house and says, hey, I'm going to stay here and, F about you. I don't care. Who cares? I got something for free. It was like I didn't want to be a mooch, but I didn't feel like I had anything else to offer, and I didn't feel like I was adequate enough. I didn't feel like I could prove to him that at least I was trying, at least I was doing something. I just felt so lost that I was talking to him, and I was just talking so much, and I was trying so hard to hide what was going on. And he just was like, "Hey, man, are you okay?" And I was like, I couldn't answer it. For the first time in my life, I had this like actual lump in my throat of, and I could feel myself break down. And it was weird because, this is a person that I respect greatly, but I never really had a relationship, a friendship with. So, I had my wall up where it was like, and that's the hardest thing about being out here is I haven't had anyone up until maybe just recently that I have felt has understood me, or that I felt safe enough around to really just break down and be brutally honest, because I'm not comfortable out here because I don't have my mom and my dad, my best friend, my sister. I have never felt more alone in my life. And I say all this, and it's been a long, very long-winded. You could have watched a TV show by now. Could have watched a full episode of Friends, Gabby. Maybe you were watching a full episode of Friends while watching this in the background. But I say all this because I think about it, and I wouldn't have it any other way. When I first came even here, it had been something that had been started in me, but when I came here to Micah's house, he's you can see, look at, he's got a full bookcase of like really intelligent reading. And he's a very smart person, very eloquent in the way he speaks. And of course, I just suddenly even felt even more inadequate. And I was just like, I'm an idiot. But you need that. You need that in life. We as Christians, unfortunately, and we as Christians, we think to ourselves that trials and tribulations are us failing in faith and we're not doing well enough. And I think God a lot of times is like, I like those moments because it challenges you to realize that you're not good enough. And if you do believe in a higher calling, if you do believe in a God, which I do, it calls you to realize and understand that, you know what? I can't do this on my own. I need to be open to be in the moment and give everything to him. For those of you who don't believe in a God, you still should have that mindset of, I can't do anything, so I just need to be in the moment and really, I can't fret about the future. And it's not an enabling spirit. It's not like saying, well, I can't, I'm never going to know everything, so might as well know nothing. No, because that's what I was doing, in a way. But it's also not being, I have to be completely perfect and because you're just going to go crazy. And which is what I've done, and I've never felt so alone, and there have been so many times where I have called back for Texas. I wanted to go back to Texas. I want to go back to the big dry state that has 5 seasons in a day because I want comfort. I want my bed. I want my Netflix account. I want my friends. I want to go see a movie with people that I know. I don't want to be surrounded by people I've never met before. I don't want to have to prove myself. I want a life that I don't want. That's just gross. And that's been the other hard thing is realizing that I can't live a life like that. I was saying it earlier. It's not about the job. It's about comfort. You can work a job that other people look down at. But if you're constantly pushing yourself beyond what you think you're capable of, because you know it's your destiny, then you are on the right path. If you have slipped into, well, I'm just working a job because it pays for everything and I'm good, that's a failure. Even on the acting side. I've met actors out here, that's what they do, and I'm just like, I don't want that either. I don't, as much as I want comfort, I don't want comfort. I have been called to constantly push myself. And then I suddenly get in this very raw middle area where I'm like, I can't compromise my life. But I also don't think I'm smart enough to ever achieve anything. So what's the point of living? Because I'm never going to be comfortable sitting on my couch doing nothing. But I'm never going to be comfortable pursuing my dreams. And I say all this because for the people I've tagged who are coming out here to California, if you've made it this far, thank you. I say it because, in all honesty, if you need to be you need to be truthful to yourself, and you need to go through this, and you need to ask yourself why you're doing what you're doing. Because if you're doing it for fame, if you're doing it for fortune, if you're doing it for some naive belief that I'm Christian and I have a calling to do so, and God, Jesus, yay! I will be very forthright and honest with you. You're going to fail. You're going to fail. Because that is not a foundation strong enough. Even people who don't believe in God will tell you that if you live your life on something that flimsy as fame and fortune, you're going to destroy yourself. And you might not think, oh, no, of course I don't want fame and fortune. I want to make movies for God. No, you don't. I want to act for God. No, you frigging don't. I am an actor, and I will tell you, I love attention. I love it. But I have had to ask myself, because I've said, why? I want to make movies for God. And I realized, no, I don't. God doesn't need these movies. God gave me the gift, the desire to make movies, not for him. for other people who are going through these issues, so I can step back. And that's the reason I've always been able to step back and question my reality, because I'm going to present that to other people who might have never stepped back and asked themselves, why am I going on this path? Why am I doing what I'm doing? And I can only hope to provide a different point of view for people, not to tell them what to think or what to believe in or what religion to follow. F all of that. I can only hope for them to step out of one of my movies and ask themselves, am I where I need to be? Or is there more? Is there more to life? Because there are a lot of Christians who are never going to get past Texas. And there are a lot of people who don't believe in religion that are never going to get past their own careers. There is more to life than religion and career. Because religion is sitting in a room having someone else tell you what to believe. A career is going after, something because you have to make money or you want to be famous. It all comes down to someone else. Relationship is about a unity. I want to have a relationship with God. I want to have a relationship with my destiny. I want to have a relationship with my wife, with my best friend, with my sister. I don't want to just do things because of my mental, I need to please people, or because of my inner, I need to be famous. I want to think through every choice and decision I make. That's the difference between religion, is a lot of times you're not allowed to make choices or decisions. You just have someone tell you what to do and you say, okay. But you have to ask yourself, why do I believe in this? Like, literally, and that's what California has done for me. It has made me question everything I believe in. And a lot of people are afraid of that because they realize, what if I see something that I don't want to see? And now you have to just make that decision. Do you want to live the rest of your life in a lie? Because if you do, I guess more power to you. I've never wanted to. So I had to question, do I believe in a God? There were times where no, I don't. Do I think I'm going to make movies for the rest of my life? Yes. Do I think I'm ever going to be famous? You know what? I don't know anymore. Do I think my movies are good? I don't know anymore. I have had to come to a place where I've had to break down and just be brutally honest with myself. California has done that. Thank you, California. But I say that as an encouragement to my friends who are coming out here. We are going to get together, and when I eventually come back, we are going to hopefully we get to make the project I've been working on. Because I'm going to give you a little taste of what it's like to be out here before you even get out here. But I encourage you, if you have any naive concepts of what fame and fortune is like, it's not going to happen. There are so many worse actors. You guys are amazing. Honestly, you are an awesome actors, but there are people out here who are worse than you that are getting jobs because they understand the business more than I do. I don't even understand the business out here because I've never really been one for networking. I hate that. I hate using people for my own personal gain. But there is a way to do it properly. There's a way to understand. And a lot of times you just need to get beyond your own idealistic concepts of what acting is to you and start really just truthfully questioning, why am I doing what I'm doing? Do I want to continue? And if so, am I willing to sacrifice myself? Are you willing to sacrifice yourself? Are you willing to get down to that raw, humiliating moment of being on someone's floor, sleeping in their household, not being able to provide rent, and just constantly, day by day, dealing with this overwhelming urge to just break down and cry and maybe even end your life? I'm not suicidal, guys. Don't freak out. But there gets a point where you're just like, I don't know what the hell to do. Are you willing to go through that? Are you? It's a hard question. And through it all, there needs to come a point where you realize who you are, because California will try to change you. And you need to find who you are, because you can't be another actor. You can't follow my path that I've laid out to doing what I need to do. There are some actors who work small jobs and work their way up to the top. There's some actors who've been given big jobs to begin with. I kind of am starting to realize my path. I don't want to copy other people, but I also need to be open to going on that difficult path. I know that might not make sense, but the idea is that you need to find out who you are, because this place will try to break you. And if you don't have a semblance of a clue of who you are, you're going to fall. You are. You need to know why you're doing what you're doing, or at least have an idea as to the real heart of the issue. Because when they try to break you, when you've lost everything, you can still stand and say, this is for me, I am Josiah Rizzo. I was called to make movies. I was called to make movies to inspire people. And that is all I can say. I am a king, and though everything might fall around me, I will continue on. That's who I am. Well, this has gone on for 36 minutes. So, damn. It might have been a lot of rambling. You know what? I don't care. I love you guys so much. I'm excited to see y'all again. I did just say y'all. Howdy. I am excited to see y'all again. I'm excited to go on this next journey. Obviously, keep me in your prayers. Hopefully, I'm laying the groundwork, because I do believe this is where I'm supposed to be. And you know why? Because it's not friggin' comfortable. That's how I know it's where I'm supposed to be. Because this is the moment where I've had to really question if I want to stay the rest of my life as Josiah Rizzo, big fish in small pond, or if I want to proceed as Josiah Rizzo on the battlefield. I love you guys so much. Mom and Dad, I love you. Thank you for your support. Uncle Dwayne, thank you so much for opening your home to me. Aunt Diane, thank you so much for opening up your home to me. To my family out here, I love you guys so much. Thank you, Lisa, for taking headshots of me. To Tom Fennessy, I know you're probably not going to watch this, but if you do, thank you for the conversations we've had. Preston, thank you for being my best friend. Micah, thank you, dear Lord, for opening up your home to me. Evan, thank you so much for calling me and just being that awesome brother I never had. Grace, I am so freaking proud of you. I love you so much, Grace. I miss you. I miss our late night drives down to the supermarket to get your. Oh my God! Shut up, dear Lord. I miss our late night drives to get friggin' ramen noodle, the cheapest cereal, cheapest soup in existence. Anyway, this has gone on too long. Love you guys. More updates soon. Pork and beans!